Welcome to Vikings football with head coach Bruce Barnum as the Vikings prepare this week to go on the road again at Sacramento State. That game this Saturday at 6 p.m. on ESPN+. The Vikings and the Hornets, coach, these two teams have played a lot over the years. However, in recent years, as the Big Sky has expanded, they haven't played quite as often, only about a half a dozen times in the last 12 years. But it seems like we're always going to Sacramento. This will be the 5th time in 6 games against them that we've traveled to Sacramento. The Vikings looking for a win against a team that has been a playoff team the last 4 years. What do you see from Sacramento State as we prepare? You've had a bye week, a little extra preparation, a little rest for the team. What's your mood going into this week's game?
Andy Thompson, their head coach, he's a defensive guy. He's been in the Sky for a while, and total respect. I know a few guys on their staff. They're good coaches. You know, they've been a little snake bit, not where they want to be, but they got a good football team, just like I think we do. You know, we got one dub, but I got a young football team that can play. So it's going to be a battle, you know. And clicking back to, I don't remember the last time they were here. I don't remember the last time.
They were here a couple of years ago, but we played like 4 in a row.
Right, down there.
Now, I love going to Sacramento, Coach, because it's usually warm. I'm not sure it's going to be that warm this week, but it'd be nice to get them up here a little more often.
Yeah, but, you know, they're doing things we don't. One of my staff came in, they're giving away 200 cowboy hats, or to the first 200 or 2,000 cowboy hats or something.
I'll be one of the first.
I'm going to get in there. I'm going to get in there early and see if Andy would throw me a cowboy hat.
All right, you mentioned the defense, Sacramento State. They've given up a few points, they've given up a few yards, but the thing you notice about Sacramento State on defense is they make big plays. Lead the Big Sky in fumble recoveries, interceptions, and sacks. That's the big 3. If you're a coach, if you're a football coach, you don't care about the other stuff. You know those big plays win games, don't you?
They do. You know, the sacks don't matter. Look at the New York Giants. I think they're leading the league, but the turnovers, that's big. And clicking back, I think Andy's one of the best defensive coaches I've met in a few months. So that, and they got a quarterback. On the other side of the ball, they're playing well. That quarterback's, you know, he's slinging it around like he knows what he's doing. So he's fun to watch. And they're putting points up. So they got, you know, they had a tough one last week, you know, but I think their coaches might say that was a little self-inflicted. They had 2 touchdowns that got taken away somehow. So it's a good football team, Mike. Offense, defense, special teams, they're solid. So it'll be fun to go up against them.
All right. You mentioned last week the Vikings had a week off. Sacramento State has played the last 2 weeks. They've played overtime games each of the last 2 weeks. So they've played a lot of football, and they coincidentally have played against the 2 opponents that we have faced. There are 2 common opponents, Weber State and Idaho State. When you look at film, when you prepare for Sacramento State, does that mean anything to you? Because you've seen those teams this year. Now you've seen Sacramento State play those teams. Does that change preparation at all?
There's a little familiarity, Mike, seeing common opponents, but, you know, it's more how are we getting there? You know, what are we doing? What are we putting together as coaches to try to get them? How are our guys working? So, yes, that helps because you've gone up against those people. So we'll see how it pans out on game day.
All right, I've mentioned the bye week already. Coach, the Vikings got a little rest last week. You can heal up a little bit, hopefully, a few guys. What exactly happens on bye week in college football? What happens with the team, the players, the coaches? What goes on during that week?
We gave them some days off, Mike. Recruiting, you know, kind of shifts in kind of an off-season mode. We had some guys out recruiting for next year's class and beyond, and but rest of the guys. The highlight probably was we have our guys that aren't playing. We have a Scout Bowl. That's pretty.
Scout Bowl got a little crazy. I saw some of that last week.
Pretty exciting day. They run with it. The kids had fun with it. Coaches had fun with it. You know, I think there's a couple bad calls out here. You know, our referees, but nothing we haven't seen in the Sky. So
I didn't want to touch that one.
I didn't either. But you know what? I saw him in the game. I'm talking about Scout Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about Scout Bowl.
Yeah, no, I saw him too.
So that was fun. And then we got back after it on Sunday. You know, I gave him Saturday kind of watch college football, and that's how we picked up. I watched the Idaho State Sac game on the ESPN deal, but kind of sit back and get your mind right, get your body right, and here we go.
All right, so as we go into week number 8, what are you seeing? The record isn't where you want it to be, but what are you seeing in terms of progress from your team?
Oh, we're still getting experience for some young guys. Mike, now our trick is going to be we got 4 left. We need to go 1-0 each week, but need to keep these guys around. The new world of college football. I keep these guys. It'll be positive for the Vikes, but that's a trick now. So we got some pretzels and some D's nuts. We'll give them and try to keep them happy and keep this group together and add some. I think you'll see good things from the Vikes.
Well, you fill them up with snacks. That's always helpful. To your point, as I look at the stats, you probably don't even realize this. Your top 8 tacklers on your defense, 6 of the 8 are freshmen and sophomores. So that speaks to the youth, the talent you got there with the youth. If you look at the offensive side of the football, you got some young running backs, you got some young wide receivers, young tight ends, and young offensive linemen. So, you're right. This is kind of a developing group still.
It is, and you look at our class. We talked about recruiting on bye week. We don't need many. We don't have a lot of guys leaving, so it's not going to be the classes you've seen in the past. I'm talking fast. I'm getting excited, but you're seeing the bulk of us right now to what's going to finish this season and lead into next season. So that's exciting times.
All right, the Vikings are playing the Hornets this Saturday, 6 p.m. as I mentioned. What do you want to see from your team when they get down there in Hornets Stadium and they run out on the field and they see that giant blow-up Herky the Hornet?
Well, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. What I want to see, first I want to see him get on the bus on Thursday morning, Mike. We're going to get on that bus, make sure everybody's there. Always check the key positions, quarterback, safety, and make sure those guys are there. Then we take off. But after the trip, once we get there, that's why we're there. They have to understand that's all the 4-day bus ride. That's it. That's 60 minutes is why we're doing it. We focus them into that, and we'll practice down there, and we'll practice on Friday at a couple different venues. But it's the goal. The only reason we're going is to win that football game. So when they get off, they won't have time to look at the Hornet. A couple of my guys probably trying to grab a cowboy hat, and then we'll put the gear on and line it up.
Well, I'll drive a few of them over early if they want a hat. We'll all get some hats. Vikings and the Hornets this Saturday, 6 p.m. Hornet Stadium in Sacramento. You can watch it on ESPN Plus. For all your information on Vikings football, go to GoVikes.com.